What's going on, YouTube? Today I'm going to be showing you my mid-tier solo build. Psych! This ain't no solo build, this is a 3-man build. This thing is absolutely insane. Let's get into it. Alright, let's get into this beast of a build. We are going to be using the Great Chassis 4x4 with 50,000 weight. We're going to be using every last weight we can, and we're going to be at 50,000 pounds at the end of this video. Next, we are going to orient ourselves facing forwards. So this is the front of the ship. As you can see, the arrows face the direction of the front of the ship. We are going to start in the back. We're going to be using the Tier 3 12,500 2x2 reactor. You can use the Tier 2 one with the 9,500. It works the same. You could swap out one of the parts because you will be saving 2,000 weight by using this one. However, for this build, I'm going to be using the Tier 3. We're going to put this flush with the back of the ship. We don't want it sitting out like this because we won't be defending all the way out here, and it's harder to defend out there. So we don't want to be getting shot from the side. We'd rather more compact in like that. We're going to be using the 2-person crew cabins, Tier 1 on the back for our side defense of the reactor. You want the fans facing out like so that way you can put all your doors in here. This is where your bed is on the fan side and fridge, so you need the fan sticking out like that. For our last piece of side defense, we're going to be using the Armaments Workshop Tier 2. On this one, you want the pipe facing out because we're going to have a door right there. We're going to go over the doors and things like that at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. You definitely don't want to be missing a door or a hatch and things like that. But if I do it right now, a lot of times I'll go through and mess something up, so I have to go through it at the end. So that's the cleanest way to do that. Next, we want some storage on our back, so we're going to place the cargo deck framed right here. This is going to be good for when you're jumping on the back of your trampler, when you're looting you can back into an enemy trampler that you destroyed. Quick loot, throw it on here, as well as the armament workbench has a shelf in there as well, so if this one starts to fill up, these ones start to fill up, you can quickly put them on there. They keep looting that way. We're then going to be using the supporting frame Tier 1 for here. I'm not too worried about not having defense right here. As you'll see later in the video, we're going to have a lot of defense. Next up, we can add our ladders. We're going to be using the Tier 1 fortified entrance area. This one is a tiny bit more HP, but they're both one shot, and I do prefer this one a lot better than that one. Now, if you don't know, enemies can jump up or go up your ladder, turn backwards, jump onto this platform, and then go up your ship and start blasting you with a pepper mill. So to stop that, all you need to do is place a balcony, which is the deck standard with the railing. Place that on both sides so we don't get any surprise guests on our ship. Next, we're going to go over the front of the ship. This is the way you're going to be pointing in all of your fights. We attack the enemy, we don't run from them with our reactor exposed. So you're going to want to be angled the whole time using this. So we're going to be using the parallel cargo bays Tier 2. These have 7,000 HP each. They serve as 2 purposes. 1, they're good with storing your loot, and 2, they have a lot of HP to protect our reactor. We're going to put 2 on the bottom and 2 on the top floor. So basically we have 14k HP on the first floor and second floor that they have to go through before they need to go through the reactor. Obviously they only have to go through either the first floor or second floor, but generally they hit one here, one here, one here, so it takes them a while to get through this. Same with the 12,500 reactor, and that's not even it yet. So on the sides, we're gonna grab our Tier 1 captain's cabin and place it right here. We're then gonna fill in the rest of these compartments or these empty spots on our first floor with auxiliary corridors. These are just used, you can put doors on all 4 sides and you can put a hatch on the top and bottom. So it's mainly just for maneuvering around your ship. They do break pretty easily when you're in a match. I don't bother repairing them if that's the only thing broken, but if my engine's already off, you know, I'll give it a repair or two just to tank that extra shot. Next on the top, we're going to be running the 2 supporting frame decks. This is going to make it super easy when you start looting and things like that to actually be able to get inside of these compartments and be able to just jump straight on your ship to loot that. Next, we're going to be placing our battering rams. So I like to run 3 battering rams on most of my ships because it's the easiest way to get the repairs on them. If you don't know, battering rams, these 3 metal patches up top, you don't need a repair kit. You don't need to shut off your engine. You can use the repair tool that's what's on your character to repair these. As a 3-man, it's pretty easy to repair them. If you guys are finishing a fight and you have another fight coming up, you could just hop down quickly and at least repair 1 or 2 of them to add an extra 2,000 to 3,000 HP of defense before the enemy can hit your reactor. For the cargo bays, if these get destroyed, you will need a repair kit. You will need to shut off your engine. That's why we like to have this backup save for repairing. This should be a very top priority thing to repair when you guys are trying to repair your ship and get ready for our next fight. The next thing we're going to use is the frame turret decks. We're going to have 4 along the bottom, like so. And then we're going to have 3 normal turrets up here like that. Now we're using tier 1 stuff, tier 1 turrets, but we do have 7 turrets on here, which is a lot for a 3-man. So you can also use this Trampler as a 6-man. This is what allows you to do it. The minimum I would take in for a 3-man is at least 5 cannons. So that way you could have 2 40s, 2 80s, and 1 shotgun turret for the driver. This turret in the middle should always be a shotgun turret. You guys can do whatever you want with other ones. Use your pristines, use whatever. For the steering of the ship, we're going to be using the tier 1 fly bridge. This is, in my opinion, one of the best fly bridges until you get to the tier 3 fly bridge. I'm not even sure what the tier 4 one is, but I'm going to show you why it's way better than the tier 2 for specific reasons that outweigh the cons for me, and that's why I use it. Now, if you can see in this tier 2 fly bridge, right, we have pipes right here, pipes right here, we have a metal patch over here, there's another pipe up here. That's 4 different repairs, maybe 5 different repairs that you have to do if this thing is destroyed before you can even use it again. Let's take a look at the tier 1. Sure, it can only take 2 shots, right? But it's only 3 patches to repair. This is a 3-man build. Communicate with your team when you're doing the repair, so that way all of you can hop on one repair at the same time and get the repair within 10 seconds of them destroying your wheel. Repairing your wheel is going to be the #1 thing that will get you killed within 30 seconds. Your wheel dies, you go in a spiral, you expose your reactor, you're dead. It's every single Trampler, not just this one. So you need to be on top of repairing the wheel. You cannot leave it. Same goes for if the driver dies, your cannoneer should cover the wheel and repair your wheel. If the driver dies, and they should stop shooting unless you're in the halt position or in a very good spot to do so. Only other thing I don't like about these enclosed ones is that you can hit this thing literally anywhere and it's going to do damage to it. It takes 4 shots. This one takes 2, sometimes 3. So I'm not too worried about this one. I don't really like it. The tier 3 one is okay. It has more HP. If it works for you, it works for you. But this is more of a mid-range build, so you won't be really running the tier 3 steering wheel on it. Next, you can see that our reachability is kind of messed up as down here. That's because of these balconies. To fix that, we're going to be using more supporting frames along the entire middle, like so. This is also going to give us an area to run on. Now, to fix the actual balcony itself, you're going to use the standard deck with no railings and place them here. As you can see, it gets rid of the railings. We want to be able to maneuver around our ship as easy as possible. Next, we're going to place 3 more down here, like so. All right, time to show you the doors. You definitely don't want to mess this up. I have gone through, so you're going to have to double check every door before you go into your first raid. You don't want to be going into the first raid with a trampler that is not fully done. A lot of times the entrances are the main thing that will be closed, even though you put the ladder on there. Sometimes it just doesn't register that there's an entrance there. So you're going to want 4 doors right here, 1 door going into here, 2, and then your captain's compartment, and then doors in here. You don't want these to be open like that. I know it's easier to get through, but deal with the doors. It makes your trampler stronger. Don't do anything different. Next, going up, this was a door for me, so check that on yours. We're going to want to close that. We're then going to want to add a hatch right here if there isn't already one. You can add a hatch right here as well. It shouldn't really matter. And then I like to add hatches around the outside, so all 3 of these are going to be hatches. Again, our storage units or cargo bays are going to have doors on them. And then as well as I like the hatch on this side as well, so that way if these are way easier to, you know, transfer loot onto. So having this hatch down here, you can grab a box from here, drop down, and then store it in the cargo bay underneath it. So floor number 2 is looking good. Next, on floor number 3, you're going to want a couple different hatches at least. You can have as many as you want. I normally run 3. The main reason why you just don't want 1 hatch is due to the obvious. If someone's on your trampler, that's obviously the most likely way for them to come up, and it's easier for them to hold the angles to kill you when you're trying to retake your trampler after they took it, right? Next, going up, you could put 4 hatches in here like this. That would be perfectly fine. These do break in about 1 shot, these hatches, and then you're gonna have a hole in there, but the ladder will still work as normal. And yeah, that's the ladders and hatches. Now the last thing, quite frankly, probably the most important thing to stay organized on your ship when getting ready for the raid is going to be having cargo decks on your top deck that people know where they are. Now, when you're a 3-man, a 6-man, you're going to be bringing a lot of turrets, a lot of ammo. Everybody's going to be putting stuff in every different cargo bay, you know, cargo container, things like that. You don't want to go searching for them. With this one, you know for sure it's right here. Everybody puts it in this one. This one you could get a little confused, but this one does have the frame. This one doesn't have the frame. You should be all right. The only other thing I wanted to talk about is how reactors are 2 floors high. That is why this is a 2-floor build. I see every single raid I'm destroying tramplers, or at least seeing tramplers that have a great, you know, foundation, the great first floor, but they don't have any defense on the second floor. At the very minimum, you have to get something on the second floor to protect your trampler, to protect it from some kind of angle that you're shooting at. This is honestly probably the #1 mistake with builds that I've seen that can be easily fixed. I have other videos on a starter build too that is very cheap if you guys want to check it out. Alright, the last thing I have for this video is I did take this trampler into a trio storm dive, and I ran it as a solo. It was pretty intense. We got into a couple of good fights. We ended up going up against a royal with experimentals and pristine turrets. It was absolutely nuts. If you're interested, go check it out. I hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out.